Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Authoritas Tea Time SEO. I'm SEO Joe Blogs growth marketer, and I'm joined here by Carrie Shepherd, our marketing executive.
Hi, guys.
So we're doing a Tea Time SEO every day at 4 p.m., where we're encouraging everyone to take a tea break, connect with others, and learn something new. And today we are joined by Pierre and Laurent Bourrelly.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Thank you for joining us today. So we have the pleasure of being joined by Pierre and Laurent, and they will be sharing their tips around chasing the algorithm, penalties, and EAT. Over to you, Pierre.
Thank you, Joe. So, next slide. Yes, thank you. A little bit about me. I've been doing SEO for lots of years, 20 plus years now. I've been in the tech industry for a long time. I'm a former Googler in search engineering, and I was an ads product manager. That's what people know me about. These days, I do what I call product management consulting for websites, and with a specialty focusing on SEO. And you will see why I say that based on my tips. Can I have my next slide, please? Joe, can I have my slides, please? So I can get.
Oh yes, just we didn't. We'll just introduce Laurent when he after you give your tips, then Pierre.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so my tips are actually very business focused and very product focused. And their point of departure is actually you are a business that serves a set of customers, and the website actually is a product that serves these customers. So the first tips I always give to people is that don't chase the algorithms. Focus on the important things for your business. Take a step back from this. Search engines are actually trying to serve the searcher, which is their user. But given the query, the location, the language of the query, and generally what they know about the user's context. And so they are trying to serve their users. And the key thing about this is that don't chase what they're trying to do, actually help them along the way. Spend your time and your resources trying to improve your website as a touch point within the overall customer journey. That your customers use as they try to buy or learn things that you can help them with. Now, the one thing that kind of doesn't get, like people sometimes miss that at first pass when you make this argument, is that Google and Bing and all the search engines do this. They're trying to help their users, the searchers, but you are a specialist in your area. You know how to best serve your customers better than any search engine can. It's just the way it works. And so, in a way, making sure that your website works the best for the customers is actually what you should be doing. And so, the other point that I've made is that help them along. This is where technical SEO really comes into play, because at the end of the day, you want to have the right kinds of content indexed. And your goal really should be to have a total understanding of your content that the search engines have about what's on your website. It gets into a little bit more deeper level where you need to think about how the page is structured. So Google talks a lot about rendering, but it's beyond that. You need to think about the layout and the design, but also the HTML itself. Because as you are assisting the assistant, you need to think about your titles, the snippets, all of these things, the images, the videos, and these things can be extracted by a better understanding of your HTML. And the other thing that people have made quite a bit, the point is made quite commonly these days, is to actually answer the questions. Now, we know about lots of services that say, here are the kinds of questions that people ask about this topic. That's great, use them. Google tells them to you. I saw there were tips earlier this week about how to find more questions straight from Google. But you have a biggest source of proprietary questions that no one else has, which is your customer support and your sales team. Ask them what they get asked, like document that. And if a certain kind of question is asked all the time, directly on the phone or by email or chat or whatever the support channels are, the sales channels are, document those, and that means that's content that needs to go on the website. Again, taking a step even further back, which is really the argument I'm making, is that SEO is not about search engines. It's actually about the users, about the searcher. And so how do you define SEO if you're trying to make that argument? And the way I break it down is actually quite simple. SEO is actually about being the best answer for a specific user need at a specific point in their customer journey when they happen to be on organic search, and that touch point is actually working in tandem with all the other touch points that you do have. So when you think about it that way, this is actually about product management. It's about user acquisition and user retention and getting them to understand your offering much, much better. And so then you say, well, what about EAT? Like, how does that fit into all of this? And I actually like EAT, but it's actually very, very high level. It's way too broad. And so the advice I always give and the exercise I do with my clients is say, listen, how do you flush it out and apply it to your business, in your niche, in your industry? How do you show expertise? Okay. What does it take for you to be seen as an authority in your industry? Why should customers trust you versus something else? Okay, for another competitor. And when you think about it that way, you already know as a business, at least an early version of answering these kinds of questions. And to summarize it a little bit, if you say that SEO, is good, product management, applying it to websites, EAT is actually brand building, applying it to websites. Yeah, because all of these things and they work hand in hand. And so these are my tips: is that think about SEO as something that serves the business and the business and your customers. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much, Pierre. Going back to what you said about it's all about users, I just also wanted to say welcome to everyone that's joined us today. Thank you for joining us, Kirsten, Antoine, Arij, 2K3 Design, Sarah, Julianne as well. So thanks all for joining. We will also have a time for Q&A at the end. So please do ask your questions in there. You can continue to ask your questions while we pass over to Laurent, but we want to have enough time at the end for Q&A. Thank you very much, Pierre, for all your tips. And over now to Laurent Bourrelly.
Yeah, hello everyone. Jo is cheating because she knows how to pronounce my name in French. I don't know why. English, native English speaking people can't say Laurent. So think about if you don't pay a lot of rent where you live, so cheap rent, low rent. But anyway, yeah, I also have been around SEO since 2004. Started off with a SEO contest, one of the first ones in the world, and that taught me what to feed the beast, how and what to feed the beast. And I'm going to go a little bit left field on Pierre, but we're going to join at the end. Just let me explain. And then, but I don't come from the SEO world. I was trained as a marketer. I've been doing branding, communication, PR since the early 90s, and I was trained in the New York City, Manhattan, hardcore guerrilla marketing type of approach. So I don't do Teletubbies SEO, right? I'm not I started as a black hat, but I still wear a black hat to remind myself where I come from. I don't care about the guidelines of Google. I just care about results. And that's what I do. I bring results for myself, for my sites, for my clients. We know about the risks, and it's part of the business model. But I wanted to address, because everything Pierre is true, but I want to talk about two kinds of visitors, right? We got the human and we got Googlebot. And I'm sorry to say, but Googlebot is not as smart as humans. And the good old saying, build a website for the user and the rest will follow. Yes and no. It's true if you are so good. And I apply that for myself. I never built a link for my SEO blog. I never did anything of that kind. And I got tons of them. And that was the value of my content. So I know what Pierre is talking about, and I agree with it to some extent, because that's for the top 1% of the pyramid, right? If you know how to stand out. Then what about the rest of us, right? What about everybody else? What about those people who don't know how to stand out in the crowd and how to have the best content ever possible that's going to attract links and blah, blah, blah. So maybe let me rephrase this. The triptych of SEO is about technical aspect, content, and popularity, links, right? So far we agree. That's the old triptych. And I'm just a guy. That's my opinion. That's how I twisted the EAT thing to serve moreover to explain to my client how the ambition needs to level up. So expertise. Are you an expert? And do you know how to demonstrate this expertise? If you got like 25 PhD in SEO, but you can't explain SEO in one tweet, keep your 25 PhDs. And it doesn't have to be the best as far as number of words. It could be the funniest. It could be the most provocative. It has to be interesting, not quality. And interesting content is two different things. And I think you need to be interesting, and you need to be able to demonstrate your expertise. That's a whole different field than, okay, content, right? The content part of the triptych, old school was like, yeah, open a blog and make some pages. Now, can you demonstrate your expertise? Then authority, that's why there's the biggest switch from the traditional interpretation of EAT and EAT and mine. Are people influent in your industry, including your competition, talking about you? That's how I score authority, which is, again, a little bit different than what you can read in the guidelines for the quality raters and so on. But once can you demonstrate your expertise? So it's more than can you just make some content or Google text. 2, are people experts and influencers in your field, including competition, talking about you? That's a different level than build some backlinks. And 3rd, T for trust. Is your website, do you care about your customers? Do you protect the data? Is it the experience? Is your website fast, and so on, right? So it's about, can we trust you? Can I put my credit card on your website in good faith? So that's how I redefine the old triptych into a new one with higher level of ambitions. That's the broad aspect. Now, I'm a search engine hacker, right? I have been hacking algorithms. So maybe SEO is not about search engines, but you do have a special visitor called Google Bot, and you might have to do certain things to make it understand, because Google doesn't understand like we do. It can analyze content, but it's pretty dumb. It's not smart in a way a human being is in its context. So little trick that you've heard about, this whole like topical entity semantic search thing, right? And it's been a long time that the French haven't been ahead of the pack in SEO, but on that specific field, we've been way ahead, and we have the best tool because we've been doing it for longer. And I plead guilty because I was the first one to explain to people, old school SEO. What was it? You got your keyword and you put it everywhere you can, right? What we call keyword stuffing. That was how we did it before. And what I said is like, well, think about it. If you want to explain something to a machine that is dumb, let's play a little game. I have a card here. with a word, okay, the mystery word game, right? I have a card and I need to make you guess that word. Of course, I can't say that. You have TV shows and stuff with the mystery word game. So play that game. Take a little paragraph of, especially the first paragraph of your content. Remove the keyword. Every instances of the keyword. Remove it. Can you still understand what the hell it's talking about without that keyword? And take, for example, Wikipedia page. They are very good at playing the mystery word game. That's one way to express that you are relevant on the topic by not just repeating the keyword, but by building semantic context around it. Now, furthermore, who is in relation to what and why? That's all you got to know. If you understand everything that's behind this phrase, this sentence, who is in relation to what and why? On the page, we just saw the words are interlinked together, and they help the search engine to understand that you are relevant on the topic, not because you repeat the keyword, but because you are able to express a lot of notions around the topic. Same thing around the page. My system, what I call topical mesh, is explaining on the page, but also around the page. The pages that are related to the page need to be same deal. Mystery word game. Who less is more. Build less links between the pages, but smarter links. And guess what? Around the website, same exact thing. That's where I'm gonna throw in a little black hat tip. In my opinion, outside of all the link building techniques, if you know what you're doing, the best of the best is the private network. If you know how to build semantically related links between websites, and if you know how to fake the system again, I'm no Teletubbies here, so I'm telling you straight up. If you know the risk, and even if it's risky, you get a penalty. Oh, you just say, hey, I don't know shit. I just hired some SEO. He did some stuff. I'm going to call him up, and you can remove all the links because they are yours.
Controversial, Laurent. Controversial.
I'm always controversial. That's my trademark. Controversial.
Controversial.
But again, we have only a few minutes. Yesterday, did a 3.5 hours long webinar to explain just the leaking part of the thing. So don't try to apply. But again, the guidelines is not the law. Building links in an artificial manner is just a matter of don't get caught. And if you get caught, know how to get out of the penalty. That's how
your closing statement. Know how to get out.
Yeah. And my last part was like, okay, I've been doing this for a long time, and the shortcuts are getting very short. The shortcuts are getting shorter, meaning you can try to cheat, but the little tricks, tips, blah, blah, I know them all. They work less and less. We got to work a little better. That's all. Hey, we knew how we were supposed to do things, but we got to get a little better along the way. And also, even if you don't want to do black hat SEO, it's good to know how it works, at least to know where is the fine line, because I see so many people who do black hat SEO without even knowing that they do black hat SEO. So Machiavel, the book Machiavel, The Prince, is actually not, it's for the good prince to learn how the evil people are doing things. So as a good prince, he can do no evil to do good. Am I out of time?
Yes, Laurent, you're out of time. Thank you very much, Laurent. Pierre, we just want to have some time to ask some people for you guys to answer some questions from the audience. So I'll let Carrie look at some of the questions to ask you.
Yeah, so we have one question from Marijin. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. The question is, he's wondering, since Google has been warning against black hats, SEO. What is your long-term results from your clients?
Again, it's not a problem. Last penalty a client got, we got out of it in 6 days. The risk is the risk is part of the business model. I don't care what anybody says, but and especially you can have several strategy where you have like this clean website, right? And on the side, you can be very aggressive with other websites. I would recommend, for example, if you want to test out, very quick thing, you take what I call the event SEO, a time period maximum of 3 months. For example, sales, women shoes sales, right? For spring 2020. That's that kind of keyword that I like to attack in Black Hat, because after the sales are done, well, you kill yourself. You don't need to wait for a penalty. You're gonna, and actually you redirect it to the fall sales, and the fall sales are going to be redirected to next spring. You buy an AMD, you buy sales. No, it's not hyphen. What's the
underscore?
Underscore. Not the underscore. No, the other one.
I don't know.
Well, you buy the domain sales, women shoes, spring2020.com, right? You don't even content. It's just like go to Black Hat World and buy some automated links. You got to buy blast on the blast, meaning you got to buy links, and then you got to buy links to link the links and see what happens. See if it doesn't go up. If you want to know that Black Hat SEO works, look up results like cheap Louboutin shoes, for example. It's all Black Hat.
Okay, well, we'll have a look at that. We could go into a lot of different details. I think there's a few other questions as well for the audience, from the audience.
I just want to say we have different clients, Laurent and me.
No, I got. Don't get me wrong. I got very clean clients. I do it all. I adapt my what I propose to the client. Some of my clients, everybody on the keywords are doing Black Hat. Everybody is buying links. So if you come up with if you're flower and say, hey, I am Teletubby, no. I'm aggressive when there's a need to be aggressive, and I'm very clean when there's a need to be clean. But
okay, well, we'll pass over to cut you up there. There's a question for Pierre from the audience. So we just want to get his input on that, Pierre.
Yeah.
Sorry, over to you, Carrie.
Thanks, Pierre. So how would you map EAT to your business? That sounds like a big task. Do you have a framework for doing this step by step?
No, but the most important team to work with is the marketing team, because they know how to position the company and how they can project the image that they want to project in their different marketing initiatives. So actually, marketing should lead that. This is why I said it's a brand building exercise, but obviously it touches on lots of other things as you go, as you dig into it. The other thing I would say, I didn't make the point during my tips, is that how you position yourself within your market affects how you actually implement EAT as a framework to how you think about it as a framework for your business. And so this touches on how the business strategy is working. So are you going to be like high end? Are you aiming for the middle? Are you aiming for low end? Are you there are lots of theories about this, and we're going to do now, but if you're like creating a new segment within the market, all of these things affect how you actually think about EAT for your business.
I also had one other question that was very well answered, by the way, about EAT. Do you have any examples, perhaps, of what clients did to become more EAT and like the results?
You'll be surprised to hear that they actually have a very good content research team, They actually,
Ooh.
oh yeah, they do lots of research before they publish anything. Because when I'm doing it actually with a client now. I just hung up with them. Sometimes you dig in, like, what are people talking about? What do they care about? How do we need to explain that? Sometimes it's actually a design issue, because we know that design affects how people perceive trust. That may or not be a good thing, but human nature is weird that way. So, sometimes the answer is nothing to do with marketing or the language, or it's just a design thing. So yeah, whatever the issue is identified, it really depends on what the website is trying to do, what the business is trying to do.
I got a workflow for you.
Workflow?
Just to show you that I'm not just, remember, I'm a marketer for 25 years. To demonstrate authority is my thing, even before the web existed. Step one, I don't have time to give you all the exercises, but you got to resolve two things. Who are you talking to? So buyer persona and that type of stuff, to know who is your target. Just apply the Pareto principle, right? 20% of your customer are going to make 80% of your income. So just do a few. Then step two, you need to know who you are. And in a way that, like Pierre said, look how you judge someone just by the color of the skin, or maybe there's a huge scar in the middle of the face. The skin is 2 millimeters thick, and you never get a second chance to get a first impression. So you got to be able to package your website in a way that people identify right away. What are your values? How you going to be able to help them? Who you are, and especially why would they continue the visit with you? How you going to help? Who are you? What are we doing now? I'm on the page. Where do I click? And why you? So once you have those two things, who are you talking to? Who you are? Then you got to build a content calendar.
Well, just to say as well, sorry to interrupt, we're running out of time, but I also wanted to give you guys an opportunity for people to connect with you outside of this. I put your Twitter profiles there, Pierre Farr and Laurent Bourrelly, but only with one R, because we have a few other people wanting to ask questions, and they can follow up with you afterwards. But just to finish off, you were saying those 2 points.
Oh no, yeah, 1R, because Twitter doesn't design as many characters, but whatever. Yeah, so the content calendar is gonna be every week 52 pieces of content once a week. Once a week you tackle one topic, and you got to become a media agency, meaning you got 4 formats of content: text, video, image, audio. Out of this one topic, you got to be able, if you are not good, you're going to build 30 pieces of content. If you're good, you're going to build 300 in those 4 formats, and you're going to flood the internet during the week. First phase, create content. Second phase, distribute content. Third phase, promote content. Then analyze the result, rinse, repeat.
Great. Okay, we'll stop you right there as we're running out of time. But thank you very much, Pierre and Laurent, for taking the time to be with us today. We are here every day. Thank you. We are here every day. We have the slides that will be available on SlideShare, which will send around as well. And Carrie's been sending you guys a lot of emails with just information about what's happening this week. And we'll have a full lineup for next week. Tomorrow we have Jason and Dave talking about some SERPs and featured snippets, and we'll be there at 4 p.m. So we'll tweet this video out to everyone. Feel free to share that and invite your friends. And if you do want to take part in a discussion, sharing some of your tips, please contact Carrie, and she will send you the details. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.